Hey YouTube, how you going? The vegan brothers are back. Very sorry that there haven't been any videos on this channel for a little while. Both my brother and I have been kind of caught up with our own bits and pieces. My brother's been jet setting around Portugal and having a great time. But look, we do apologise, and there's certainly going to be more content coming soon. Our intention is to have regular content on this channel. In today's video, I kind of want to talk about having belief in your diet and having belief in the vegan diet specifically. The reason why this kind of came up was that I was on a training camp for a sport that I'm involved with, obstacle racing, down here in Australia, and they're putting together a team that goes over to America. Now, I was the only vegan person there. I was fortunate that there were two other vegetarians. But obviously in that environment where you've got 20 to 30 competitive, athletic type people, a lot of those people fall into the mindset of what you see in magazines and newspapers, like protein powder this and supplement that, and you got to do this, and you need your meat, you need your dairy and all this shit. And not that it kind of influenced me to reconsider my diet, but obviously there's a lot of pressure on you, and people like, oh, where do you get your protein? And oh, what about calcium? What about iron? Can you, and they know my results. I'm not the fastest guy there, but, I can kind of hold my own, for the positions that I do get. And, tend to be quite competitive, especially on the longer races. So they know that I can do it, but you still get kind of thrown and bombarded with these questions. And, as I said, it didn't make me kind of doubt what I was doing as a vegan, or what I eat as a vegan. But it does sometimes play on your mind. You're like, geez, all these people, they keep selling me these stuff, and it doesn't make sense to me, because they're like, oh, where do you get your protein? And some of them are eating steak, for having bacon and eggs for breakfast, steak for lunch, and chicken for dinner, and then they're having their protein shakes on top. And look, they're all great guys on a personal level, get on great with all of them, but this is kind of about that kind of whole having confidence, and that's why I'm mentioning this story. So I can understand, for example, for someone who may be new to the vegan lifestyle, if you're put in a similar situation or you have people talking to you about these issues, it can bring in that self-doubt, and you start going, hang on a minute, when I went for that training run, I felt a little bit tired, or, I went to the gym and I just wasn't as strong today as I was last week. Maybe it's because I'm not getting enough iron, or maybe it's because I'm not eating enough protein. And then it's like, oh, maybe I need to take this supplement, maybe I need to take that supplement. And I can see how it would play on people's minds. But as long as you're eating a well-balanced diet, a vegan diet, you're going to have everything that you need. There's no need to worry and, have that self-doubt. And the reason why I say that is because there's so many people out there who are doing the vegan diet and absolutely thriving. And I got the kind of inspiration for this video from watching the Rich Roll podcast, because he had Mac Danzig on there, who is a UFC fighter, and he's been a vegan for, I'm not sure how long, but it's like probably 10 years plus, but he's actually gone over to the 80-10-10 diet, which is obviously high carbohydrate, low fat, low protein, predominantly based on fruit. If you're not just eating fruit, starchy vegetables, rice, that kind of thing. But low fat is the key. And in Rich Roll's podcast, he was talking about Mac being pretty much one of the first guys that he'd really gotten to know or seen at a professional level who was doing power sports with that diet. I mean, obviously there's endurance involved in fighting and everything, but you do need your strength and your speed and all that kind of stuff. Rich talked about, there's heaps of guys doing it who are endurance athletes. You just look at Mike Weinstein and stuff like that. But it was interesting to see that Mac had switched over to this diet. But that's just one, I guess, type of vegan diet. Then you have someone like Rich Roll himself, who sure he eats a lot of carbohydrates because he's an endurance athlete, but maybe his fat or protein content is a bit higher. And I just think it shows that if you're just that, average person out there, trying to train for a half marathon or a marathon, or just want to run every now and then to get fit, ride your bike, whatever it is, you've got to take confidence from these people who are doing it at an elite level and are following these vegan diets, because they're doing it and they're winning races, or they're winning fights, or they're, performing beyond expectations. And you just got to take confidence from that. So if you're someone who finds yourself in a bit of a sticky situation and you're self-doubting or you're questioning things because of the pressures placed on you, go and read one of these guys' books. Go and read their blog, listen to the podcast, whatever the case may be, and take take heart from the fact that there are people out there who've been following this diet for a long time and they're succeeding. They're not falling off the planet. They're not dying of protein deficiencies and all that rubbish. So thanks for watching, guys. There's going to be more great content coming soon, and we'll talk soon.